Welcome back, everybody. This is the Uncharted Vaper, and today I'm bringing you another review. Now, this review was basically supported by another viewer. So, big shout out to Christian Dewin for giving me his winnings just so I could have this review done. So, thank you, sir, for doing that. So, what are we reviewing today? It is the SMOK Next Mesh with a collaboration with OFRF pod-based system. So with that, we're going to dive down, talk about it, and then bring it back on top and give you my final thoughts. Alright, so here we go. SMOK Next Mesh and OFRF. So this is the new pod kit right here. So let's go ahead and open it up. Show you what comes inside the package. We'll freeze frame that for you real quick. Let's go ahead and get that focused. Bam, focus it right there. So there you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and open it up. Slides open, nice. No cutouts. SMOK and OFRF Next Mesh Pod. That's the only writing there. On the sides, it gives you the breakdown. Conical Next Mesh, 1200 mAh. Vape friendly, minimum 5 watts, max 30. Hashtag higher security. This tells you the color codes and combinations and their batch number and their basic information. Alright, so here's the device itself. Okay, so we got a black one. So there's the pod. Open up the pod. User manual. QC card. Extra pod with coil, a coil, and what are we going to be running. Alright, so it's going to be a micro USB. They are color coded as far as the bottom of the O-rings for what they are. This is the DC coil in blue, so this is the one on the side. And then this is the pod for it with the mesh coil and the airflow. So you take this out. Before you throw your coil away, you just unscrew your airflow adjustment off. Put this back on. And due to the wicking ports on this, I'm going to assume that my juice should be okay and should wick fine because it is mesh. They have larger wicking holes where you can see the airflow, but it's just so shiny. It's really hard to pick it up. There it goes, right there. So you just adjust your airflow right here, okay? That's it. So with that, let's prime the coil. So all I'm doing, sorry, I'm always off camera for that, is just putting juice into the fill ports on the outside of it, which are your wicking channels. And it's actually wicking rather well. It's pulling in the juice really quick. So that tells me this is going to wick rather well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, put this back into the pod itself. There it goes. It only goes one way. We're going to wide open the airflow side fill. So we're going to pop open the side and spin it off, because this one allows you to spin it over to the side so you have a place. Put your nipple on the inside. 2 mil capacity, so let's go ahead and get this thing filled up the best way we can. So let's look at on the other side for juice fill. There it went. Alright, so now we're full of juice. Alright, so just wipe off the residual juice so you don't think you're actually leaking. To turn on the pod, 5 clicks. We'll wipe the juice off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. SMOK OFRF software version as well. So yeah, let this set for a couple minutes and we'll vape on it. Alright, so after a few minutes, let this thing set down here. What we're going to do is just just going to take a quick vape and see how the airflow is. Talk about it right here real quick. Then we're going to take this and bring it back on top, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So right now it is sitting on SW. So what does that mean? So let's LCD reversal, lock, lock. So unlock and reverse it so I can look at it and see it myself. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's 5 watts. It's just really poor. It looks like SW. So it's saying it's got the port 4 ohm coil in it. Let's go up to 15 watts. No, let's go up to 19. 20 watts. 20 watts. Let's just see what it's like. So yeah, really nicely designed, no issues with it. There's obviously the light indicator in case you get low battery. Pod just pulls out, clips back in by magnets. So there's a magnets here and here, and then your connector there. USB on the bottom, ORF on the back, SMOK and ORF next mesh pod. And then they also have the mesh design on the front side. To me, a little bit of over branding, honestly. So what we'll do is we'll take this, put everything back together, and bring this back up on top, and I'll give you my pros and my cons on the SMOK next mesh with OFRF. Alright, so here we go. Up on top now with the SMOK and OFRF pod next mesh. Okay, so I may say this. I like the design they did on the front side of this. So you guys can see the front design of this. You know, it looks really, really, really nice. But they over-branded by doing that. And they also over-branded by also putting it on their pod as well. So this is where I say over-branding is just too much. On the bottom, it tells you 1200 mAh, and it says it again on the bottom. OF, RF, and SMOK is listed on the bottom. So it's everywhere you look. It's here it says powered by Next Mesh Technology. Here's the regular screen. Here's where it says who it's made by. Here's who it's made by. OFRF, OFRF, and SMOK. OFRF, SMOK. It's just way too much. We don't need to see all that. Now, it'd been nice if they had SMOK and OFRF over here, or put SMOK next mesh here, and then had the OFRF here. It would have looked better, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's not saying it's a bad pod, but it's just over-branding. So that, to me, a big point off right there off the break. It's just, or right off the bat, however you would like to say it, because it's just too much branding. But I do like the logo design right here, how they did it. That would have looked perfect because it went in sequence with Next Mesh Technology, because they did a mesh look of their coil in here, okay? So with that, I maxed out at 30 watts. Wide open airflow, so let's go ahead and close up the airflow some. Let's go half airflow. Okay, put it back in. Quick snap in, really nice. Definitely not bad at all right there. I'm getting that custard cake, you know, a little bit of that cake taste with custard. I get that toasted marshmallow and then that hint of that butterscotch, just like I wanted it from Delight. So, you know, the mosquitoes don't get to taste it. We're zapping them instead. So, you know, bye-bye mosquitoes. So, yeah, flavor-wise, it is good flavor. I do like it. 1200 mAh, really good for a pod this size. I won't knock them for that. It's good for that. But what I am going to knock them for is the fact that they used a micro USB versus a Type-C. Had they put a Type-C on this would have even excelled it even more. That's just my opinion, because Type-Cs are fast charging. 1200 mAh is small, but for a pod like this, it's still good for both salt and for freebase. Because of the wicking channels that are on side of this coil, you can do both, and it's okay. They are replaceable coils, so they're OCC coils, and that's why I say that. You know, so you can even drop the airflow down to run your salt neck, so it's even better. And your airflow is actually up here on the top, so it comes down and it goes around and up. So if I rated this pod, you know, directly, you know, from a 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 4.5, maybe a 5 at very most. But I'm actually really at a 4, just because of the over branding and the USB port versus a Type-C. They got it good with the front, but the rest of it, they killed it. And the battery size was good, but they killed it with a USB versus a Type-C. But they got a point because of the fact of the flavor on it. It's got decent flavor. There are other pods out there that I feel have better flavor overall, and you'll see some of those come up, and I'll link those in there, which will be the FreeMax Max Circle. I'll link that one up there, okay? So with that, that's the OFRF by SMOK and Next Mesh. This is a collaboration between the two brands. OFRF came from the OFRF tank that they had, the RTA. The OFRF RTA, which was the little teeny tank. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Real simple to understand, real easy to use. Pop a coil, put one in. 2 types of coils, a mesh coil, and then also the dual coil, which is a round wire coil, I believe, which is for mouth to lung, which is really for your salt neck users. So that's really nice they did that. So other than that, that's all I got for this review, and I hope to see you on the next one. So I'll talk to you later.